my friends, it's Miss Drews with your math warm up. All right, so depending on when your teacher is sending this to you, we're going to be talking about area today, by the way. When your teacher sends this to you, it might be that you haven't heard about area yet, and this is kind of pre-teaching you. Oh, bonus little context clues there, pre-teach, right? Pre means before, teaching before. So this might be pre-teaching you and teaching you some things before you go into a small group with your teacher or before you learn math today with your teacher, okay? Or it might be that you've already started learning a little bit this week about area, or even before this week, you've learned about it, but it's been a big gap in between our learning, as we know, so we need some review as well. So anyway, if you're listening to this and you're like, huh, area? Or you're like, oh, area, it's going to be perfect for you, okay, to get those brains ready for your class. So today we are going to look at area, okay, and you're going to see me doing acting out a lot, because if you're not with me in my class, I like to say things and act them out because it gets stuck in my brain. Okay, so today you're going to learn that area is the space inside the shape. Okay, so again, area is the space inside the shape. Okay, so we'll get to that in just a little bit. But when we're measuring something, okay, if you'll kind of think way back, like maybe earlier this year, not too far back, okay? But if you think way back to when we were measuring things, right? Okay, like let's say I wanted to measure my pencil, or I wanted to measure the desk. Okay, think for a second, what would you use, right? If I'm measuring a pencil, I probably want to use inches, right? Inch. Okay, if we're measuring the table that I'm on, I probably want to use more of like a foot, right? And if I'm measuring these things, these are just estimates, right? That's about an inch, that's about a foot, okay? But if I really wanted to compare the measurement of something, then I would need something that's the same unit, end to end, right? All those good things. And we probably use, as a second grader, we know now, a ruler is a perfect thing for that. I looked all over my house because I'm recording this for my house, and no ruler to be found. But I got a tape measure to remind you. All right, so tape measure is reminding us just like a ruler. Okay, like there is a foot right there. Okay, and on there, remember each one, 1, 2, 3 inches, right? Like if I measure something and I tell you, hey, it's 3 inches long, like my pencil, 3 inches long. But then another pencil I had, 6 inches long, right? Okay, if I'm using the same measurement in the same unit, you know that that 6 inches is longer than the 3 inches. If I switch up my units, then it's going to be something different, right? Like if I say, oh, it's 6 inches, right? 6 inches. And, but the other pencil is, wait for it, 2 feet long. What? Because you got to remember, even though the 2 is less, a foot is longer, right? So just got to keep that in mind. It's super important to remember the measurements, okay, and the units that you're going to use. So you're going to do something similar with area. Remember, area is a space inside the shape, okay? So when I'm measuring a space inside the shape, we're going to start with square units. And if you look at my picture here, you're going to go, oh, look at it, because look, square, 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 square. They're all squares. So we're going to call them square units. Okay, later down the road or later down the line, like as a 3rd grader, 4th grader, you'll do more measuring of area using things like a ruler and things like that, even maybe this year. But we're going to start out with something easy peasy, square units. Okay, so to fill up the space inside, we're going to be using this same size unit, just like with that inch. Okay, if I'm using inches, I have to use the same size of an inch. I can't go from inch to centimeter to a foot. Ain't gonna work that way, people. Okay, so looking at these on my screen right here, the orange, the purple, and the blue, they all have the same size square units, right? So it's going to be easy and good for me to compare my measurements with these 3 shapes because they each have the same size unit. Just like if I'm measuring something like my pencils, I got to use all inches. Okay, I can't use inches for one and then feet for another because it's going to be very, very different. Okay, so square units, we're always going to use the same kind of size. Okay, so what I want to do is measure the area, space inside this shape, easy peasy. Look at this orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 4 square units, right? If I'm looking at this purple, right? 5 square units, boom, right? All right, and then I look at the blue. Right, you're thinking it with me. 3 square units. So if I'm looking at these 3 shapes, now, kind of like when you're thinking of like your pencil versus like your table, you kind of know that the table's longer. But if you wanted to prove it, you would measure it in inches to make sure you're like, hey, haha, my table was 26 inches and my pencil was only 6, so it's definitely longer. Okay, so same thing with area, space inside the shape. I told you I would do it. Okay, so that area space inside the shape, I want to make a specific measurement with my square units to kind of prove, that the blue shape had the least area, the orange shape had kind of a middle-sized area, and the purple shape had the biggest or the greatest amount of area inside the shape, right? Area inside the shape. Okay, so just a quick reminder that when I'm measuring area, space inside the shape, okay, I want to use square units for now, okay? So when you look at your page to do, here's your page, okay? You're going to be measuring quite a few different shapes with their area. Now take a look, right? All of the squares, no matter what color, are about the same size because they're all actually in grid paper, okay? You'll probably start using that a lot in your class too if you haven't already. But what you're going to do, ooh, I just noticed I misspelled square. Oh my goodness, I need to go fix that. I'll fix it before I send it to you. So when you are looking at the red, you're going to count them up. Okay, let me go back to my slide right now with you. Okay, so I can type with you. But you're going to count up those red, the area inside the shape, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've already got in here for you square units, so I just need to double click in here and put the number 5 and then move right on, okay, to figure out the purple area inside the shape, the blue, the green, and the orange. Now, again, you can kind of eyeball and guess which one is the greatest amount, which one's the least amount, okay, and which ones would kind of go in between in the same order. But that specific measurement of square units kind of proves it, okay, that you are right. So bonus over here, because I know my video is a little bit longer, getting you ready for area or maybe reviewing area with you. Bonus after you have done all of your square units here is to put them in order from the least area to the greatest area. So if I was doing this and I noticed that when I typed here and I saw intent that green's only 2 square areas, then I could put green first and I can hit enter on my keyboard and I can make a list of the rest, which one's a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, all the way to the greatest area. Okay, but that is a bonus because I know I'm kind of rambling on here. Okay, so we will see you next time. And remember, area, space inside the shape. All right, see you, friends.